Welcome back, our dear viewers. The self-awareness of youth and how it can help you identify the opportunities for the professional development and the personal growth. To shed more light on that, we are very much to be joined here in the studio by our dear guest, Dr. Maha Mahgoub, human development expert and UN consultant. Good morning, Dr. Maha.
Good morning.
Dr. Maha, can you elaborate on how we can keep the people's spirit high as well as developing their own potentials?
Yes, we have to look after youth, even though from the early beginning during their studies, and because here in Egypt the majority of population are youth, more than or around 60% of the population. Therefore, how to give them the right guide for career opportunities and how to have a good opportunities, professional opportunities in the market. So in that case, we have to all stakeholders should work together in order to develop the youth capacity and building their capacity building, starting from school studies till university studies and after graduations, and how to recognize the international competition in the labor market. What about the required skills and competencies needed for youth in order to find a good professional in the market, not in Egypt but all over the world.
Yes.
And of course that would be aligned with the family efforts. So they have to look after their children, how to develop their skills, how to know their potential, hobbies, everything, and how to check their strengths and how to link these strengths with the external opportunities in the labor markets, and then to work on these strengths along with their studies.
Indeed. Dr. Mahgoub, how can we actually train the youth to be more competent in what they are doing?
Just to explore what about the area of strengths. Just this is the first step. They have to know what about their strengths, what about their hobbies, potentials, what about their career plans. Most of youth here in Egypt, maybe they don't have career plans, even though for graduated from Sanawiyya Amma, so they rely on their grades, graduation grades, and then they will be joining a university
according to their grade, not according to their interests.
Yes, not to the interest, but they have to work earlier just to check what about the area of strengths, then to work on these strengths, how to empower, how to build the capacity of students, how to have self-development aligned with academic studies. It's not important just to have to look after or to take care of academic studies, but we have to look after the self-development, ongoing self-development.
Yes, how that could be done as a parent now, how you can guide your kid to follow this in order to be more aware of his own interests, in order to fulfill that in his own career path.
Most of families just maybe they care about education, but they don't care about career plan. So therefore each family members, especially mothers, they have to check their children, what about their skills, what about the area of their strengths, what would you like to improve, how to improve these skills. For example, we can find some kids or some children, they are brilliant and professional in drawing. So if mother just notice that their children, they are brilliant in drawing, so she can improve these skills by giving them more lessons, more capacity building, giving them some equipment to improve these skills and hobbies.
Yes. Dr. Mahgoub, balance is the secret of a stable life. How can we achieve a balanced life for our kids or our youth?
Yes, of course. A balance, it's just to balance, to achieve all areas within balance. Just it's not, for example, if we have studies during the academic year, so some parents or some families, they are focusing on academic, just only academic, but the children, they have other interests, just playing sports, entertainment, they have to get some rest and so on. How to set a time plan and time schedule for kids in order to make balance in all aspects. Just to give each area it's the right time and the right space for just to make ensure that they are balancing in all activities and to fulfill all activities at the same time.
How can youth first specify their priorities as to know their target, thus know how to choose their own path in life?
Yes, of course. At the beginning of maybe we can have daily plan, weekly or monthly or yearly plan, and this plan should be monitored by families if we are talking about youth, young youth, not adults, not big youth, adults. So just to set their plans. What about the tasks and tasks that should be done on daily basis or weekly or monthly basis, and then after setting all tasks should be accomplished, then just setting the time for each task, how long it takes for each task, then setting the most important one task, then to be cascading to the less important and less important, and to achieve these tasks according to the set plan. So of course on daily basis maybe we can do this process in our mind, but if we write this process, maybe it can help us to organize our daily life and set a good time plan.
Dr. Mahgoub, actually, on what basis can the youth specify their own priorities? How they can choose their own priorities in a proper way, not to be influenced by some external elements or some peer pressure?
Yes, they set youth. They set their own priorities based on their prospects. So based on their passion and hobbies. So they don't look after the external elements, the international competition. So they don't recognize that they are one element inside the small community and the bigger community. And now there is a huge and rapid change all over the world in education, competences, everything. So they have to recognize what about the external challenges which will be facing them, just to have small focus on their interests or hobbies or something like that. But they have to have more exposure worldwide or maybe on national level, and how to create a competitive advantage for their skills, knowledge, even future profession and so on.
Yes. First, we have to ask the youth if their priorities are personal or the priorities are general, that is concerned with the whole society, or how can we be aware of the interests of the young generation here, Dr. Mahgoub?
Now we have just globalization, exposure to the whole world, internet, and it's easy to access any information. So we can find that most of youth, even children that are using internet on daily basis, they are exploring their interests, skills, how to develop their skills. But this should be monitored or guided by families or friends. Yes. Just not working.
But how this mechanism should be working? How we can guide our kids here to follow this path of choosing priority and to be also an active part of the society here?
Yeah, we can find some parents or some families, they discover that a highly strength is in their kids. So they work on these strengths. So maybe for example, if a kid is interested in mathematics and he is genius in mathematics, so in that case they can build the capacity of the kid in how to improve the mathematical skills for future opportunities. And I've read that there is as a student at the age of 11 years old, they asked his mother asked the university to just join the university because he is qualified enough to understand academic studies and so on. And we can see that most of some cases they are joining some universities at the early stage, maybe at 16 or 15 years old. But it's not here, of course, in Egypt. It's abroad. So how to discover the area of strengths of youth, how to develop their skills, knowledge, how to align a self-development plan beside the academic plan.
Dr. Mahgoub, how can we keep the spirits high so as to be able to improve our own lives and the lives of our youth as well? How can we keep it up?
just to give each stage the right time and the right activities for each stage. For example, if we are talking about childhood, so we have to give all activities related to childhood. If we are talking about teenagers, so we have to provide the activities which are permitted to the teenagers. If youth, they leave the actual stage of their life, so they will be more psychologically stable. So we have to recognize how to deal with youth, kids, what about their needs, how to deal with them in this stage, how to satisfy their needs at this stage. Then when they grow up, so in that case maybe they have accomplished what they have done during the prior stage.
How we can remain optimistic here? How can we keep our young generation optimistic? As we are all seeing here, the Egyptian administration is paying great attention to youth and women empowerment.
Yes.
So how that could be reflected on our youth, and that all the elements are provided in order to give our youth the proper opportunities to excel and to develop in a proper way.
Yes, of course, the state just assigned 25% of seats for youth and 25% for women. So this is a good opportunity for youth and women, just they have prospect or future plans or maybe objectives, good opportunities in the future to reach a certain place. Especially now we can find some youth, they are ministers, they are holding good leadership positions. The leadership program of the state just to giving them how to empower and build the capacity of youth to reach a good position within the state. So this of course put a good objective for the current youth. Just they have a long-term goal and how to prepare themselves, how to reach this goal, long-term goals, and to prepare themselves to reach a certain position in the future, a certain professional, and to work on it aligned with their society, family or society or formal education.
Yes. Dr. Mahgoub, as we have been talking here, the Egyptian administration is paying great attention to our youth, and that's why the PLP was established here for creating a young generation of leaders here in Egypt to be partners in the political, economic, the decision-making sectors. So what's the importance of that, and what's the importance here of engaging our young generations in many positions, in top positions as well?
Yeah. In the past years, we found a big problem that just to find a second line of management and holding people who can manage critical positions. And since 2011, the state recognized the importance of youth. So since that time, they paid a huge attention how to develop youth, how to set plans for them, how to assign certain places for them, even in political, economic, and so on. So since that time, youth recognized their values and so on. They have simulation for maybe, for example, for in stock market or political parliament or so on. So are they practicing how to hold a certain position in the future by simulation, and how to practice these positions as part of training, just for preparing them for future job or opportunities in that state.
Yes. As a UN consultant, the UNICEF Egypt is joining forces with actually key partners in the government and the private sector in order to establish innovation labs across the country, with the aim of providing all means of support for the young people of entrepreneurship, co-creating and building of the 21st century skills. How that is important from your point of view for our young generation, Dr. Mahgoub?
Yeah. We are talking about job opportunities and the labor markets. It's divided into two parts, either formal hiring or formal job, and the other part is entrepreneurship and startups. So we can see that the market is wide, and the state just paid a huge attention how to improve the entrepreneurship, how to to help youth and teenagers, even though just to adolescents, and how to be a young entrepreneur. Some UN organizations just they are helping youth and adolescents how to be a good entrepreneur, just giving them a small idea about what about small projects, what about business plan, business model, and so on.
Yes.
So they have they inject the spirit of entrepreneurship inside them, even though in the future, if they don't find a suitable job as formal job, so they can have other alternatives, being just to have a startup, small startup. You know how to start, how to write business plan, and to make a small project effectively.
Indeed, Dr. Maha Mahgoub, our human development expert and UN consultant. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much. Our dear viewers, with that we come to the end of this segment in our breakfast show. We'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be back with my dear colleague Amal Mukhtar, so stay tuned.